Thousands of migrants, most from Central America, they're trekking across Mexico on foot with the goal of applying for asylum. The Legion had about 2,000 migrants on Saturday, growing to nearly double in size. Some of them plan to apply for asylum in Mexico City, protest there, and then others hope to reach the U.S. We're joined right now by Luis Chaparro, an immigration journalist. He's been monitoring the situation. Now, there are migrants walking thousands and thousands. Well, really, we don't know where they started from. I mean, again, they're from Central America. They're walking so far. How are they sustaining themselves? There are reports that people are joining them along the way.
Hi, Adrian. Good morning. Thank you for having me. And yes, well, they started the trek in Tapachula, right in southern Mexico at the border with Guatemala. Right now, they are in Escuintle, which is around 1,300 miles from the U.S. border. They're basically sustaining out of what local people is taking them out to the highway where they're walking and stopping at each major town that they find. So they're basically sustaining by locals along the way.
And I mean, there are families, there are babies in this caravan. How are they making it through? I mean, I would just imagine that these local towns can only provide so much in the way of shelter and food and water, or maybe diapers.
Definitely, it's been really hard for them. I mean, there are a lot of families in the caravan right now. This is a singularity of this caravan, as like compared to the past caravans on the last years. There are about 400 children between 7 and 18 years old, and 100 babies under 1 year old. So that means they're moving very slow. They've been moving in a pace of about like 20 to 40 miles each day, so which is very little. Obviously, the heat has been hitting the kids the most. Yesterday, they got heavy rains, so they had to stop, and they're honestly living under like very bad conditions.
You've seen a lot of caravans in your reporting. Has Mexican immigration or law enforcement tried to stop them or detain any of them at some point?
Well, on the last two caravans, this is the third caravan this year so far, and on the last two caravans, Mexican authorities were pretty aggressive. We saw videos of Mexican authorities beating some of the migrants. Right now, I guess because of the pressure they feel from international press covering this caravan, they haven't tried to stop them. Usually they stop them before leaving Tapachula, which is the town right at the border. But right now they moved like 40 to 50 miles past Tapachula. This doesn't mean they're not going to try to stop them. What I'm guessing is the Mexican authorities is trying to wear them over, like wait for them to get tired, and so the sun and the heavy rains that they've been getting, because they're following closely the caravan.
You know, there have been so many reports that this is a very organized group, that there are among these families that are desperate to find shelter and safety. There are protesters, activists. This is an organized mission to try to make a statement in Mexico City and then in the U.S. Is that what you're finding to be the case?
Yes, definitely. There are a handful of organizers who are like keeping the caravan together. They're basically looking over them and calling to ambulances every time they need medical attention. They've been providing food from the major towns, and what they want to do is get to Mexico City to make a point to the Mexican authorities to let them walk free through Mexican territory. But the main goal of the whole caravan is to make it to the U.S. Now, I don't see that happening, to be honest, Adrian. They're moving very slow on their ugly conditions.
So you don't think they're going to actually make it to the U.S. border? You think that they're going to end up somewhere in Mexico dispersing? I mean, because isn't the goal to kind of usher them in through these organizers?
Yes, definitely. Well, the goal is to move in a caravan, like large numbers, so they can actually make it. And all of them are very hopeful. But it's more than 1,300 miles yet to get to the U.S. border. And that doesn't mean that northern border towns are not going to try to stop them as well. I think they're going to get to Mexico City, and from there, I guess they're going to disintegrate, and each family is going to try to make it on their own.
Well, we have heard reports that some of them are dropping out, handing themselves over to Mexican authorities because this trek just is so difficult. Luis Chaparro, thank you so much for giving us your perspective. You're there on the ground. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.